Greetings, citizens of the world. We are being exploited and looted by an elite. We have created an economical order that only benefits a few, while most of humanity is doomed to live tired, stressful and meaningless lives. Our environment is being destroyed, our waters polluted and our food poisoned. How can we allow to be so easily enslaved by a few? How is it possible that billions of human beings are exploited by a minority, and nobody seems to care about it? How come we have become so disengaged and so unconcerned towards the problems around us? Why is it that the masses have become so apathetic? Where are the revolutions? Why we don't stand up and face the rulers of our life? Clearly something is going wrong. And in this video I will reveal what is it. The problem is that since the day we are born we are targeted with a variety of mind control techniques that have achieved to create a population of non-thinking, unconcerned human beings. We have become cattle. And in this video, that I hope the viewer will have the patience to see, I will reveal the 9 most used techniques by the elites to enslave our minds and keep the exploited population under control.
Which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process.
One reason why the masses are so calm is because they think they are free. They do not realize they are not. The political system, it's been set up in a way that make us believe that we have choice, that we can vote, and decide the fate of our country, but that cannot be further from the truth. The true rulers of our nations are the financial elites who control the banking system. Since long time ago, the elites have created a political system that give the masses the illusion they are free, while the bankers pull the strings hidden behind the political arena. As Rothschild said once, "Let me issue and control a nation money, and I care not who makes its laws."
The owners of this country are the voters of this country.
You're wrong about that, my friend.
Aren't the owners of this country the voters in this country who elected George Bush?
Not. Listen, politics, these elections are a charade. It is a charade.
Okay.
It is, they are meant to... I'll tell you, listen, just listen for a minute. Learn a little something. The elections and politicians are in place in order to give Americans the illusion that they have freedom of choice. You don't really have choice in this.
2. We are being constantly entertained. One key to maintain the masses under control is to keep them distracted. You can rob the people, and you can poison them. As long as they are paying attention somewhere else, they will not realize it. The elites will promote and fund any kind of technology or entertainment that will keep the masses distracted and busy staring at a virtual world. They will flood our societies with pornography, video games and drugs, to ensure that the unhappy citizens turn to these distractions when they are unhappy and bored, instead of turning against the elites, the cause of their unhappiness.
And why is that? It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do when the people become restive, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor? He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. He has great chariot races and football games and basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world, so that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is, so they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated, so they don't ever question the emperor.
Another tool used to keep the people apathetic towards the exploitation is to dumb down the population. The elites don't want a well-informed, well-educated population. That would be too dangerous for the current socio-economical order that benefits the elites. As John Rockefeller said, "I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers." They want you to be ignorant, to be stupid. They don't want you to understand how the economy works. They don't want you to think by yourself. What they want is to ensure that you know so little about the world that surrounds you, that you are unable to realize that you are being looted in front of your eyes. To achieve that goal, They will place you in the educational system, where you will be indoctrinated to become an obedient citizen. By the time you will have finished your education, all your intellectual curiosity will have been killed, all your passion for learning will be gone, and all you will have, it's a deep lack of knowledge about the world that surrounds you.
Don't you worry about that. We're going to lower the passing grades. And that's what they do in a lot of these schools now. They lower the passing grades so more kids can pass. More kids pass, the school looks good, everybody's happy, the IQ of the country slips another 2 or 3 points, and pretty soon all you'll need to get into college is a fucking pencil. Got a pencil? Get the fuck in there. It's physics. Then everyone wonders why 17 other countries graduate more scientists than we do.
4. Another tool they use is brainwashing. They will use the media, the advertisements, the education, the movies, to instill in your mind aspirations, attitudes and behaviors that will turn you into a non-thinking creature. They do not want you to care about the world. They don't want you to be altruistic. They don't want you to read books. What they want is to implant in your mind values, preoccupations and complexes that will turn you into a selfish, materialistic and ignorant creature who will be easily exploited by an elite.
Social messages are promoted through movies and drama, high drama, through the fixation of emotive sequences, emotional sequences, not logical, factual sequences, but pushing points across in an emotional way which register and fix in the mind. So emotional content is very, very important, rather than going through an actual discussion or an argument using logic and facts. There's no debate, and when you're being downloaded through fiction, your guard is down, the censor part of your brain is not in action. It isn't saying, yes, I agree with this, I disagree with that, as you would in a debate or a lecture. You're actually in an alpha state, being completely downloaded with new ideas.
5. Another weapon they use to mind control the population is through implanting hatred in their minds. The elites don't want a united population. That would be too dangerous for the economical order. They need the masses to be divided and to be confronted with each other. We live under an economical system that is unfair for the majority of the population. Unhappiness and discontent will be rampant among the citizens, and the elites don't want you to turn against them. They don't want you to realize that your unhappiness stems from the unfair economical system they have created, and to achieve that, they will bombard you with propaganda and lies, to persuade you that the real problems you experience come from someone else. A common scapegoat blamed by the elites tend to be the immigrants. We can see now in US or in United Kingdom how the immigrants have been the main topic of the political debates, when the real reason of the hardships we are going through are the greediness of the bankers.
Now, to balance the scale, I'd like to talk about some things that bring us together. Things that point out our similarities instead of our differences. Because that's all you ever hear about in this country is our differences. That's all the media and the politicians are ever talking about, the things that separate us, things that make us different from one another. That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They try to divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the fucking money. Fairly simple thing, happens to work. Do you know anything different? That's what they're going to talk about. Race, religion, ethnic and national background, jobs, income, education, social status, sexuality. Anything they can do, keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank.
6. Another tool used by the elites will be fear and terror. Sometimes the elites require the masses to be scared. Sometimes the establishment need to wage imperialistic wars, or need to curtail your rights to keep the masses subjugated, and to achieve that, they will put you in such a state of fear that you will eventually allow your government to wage a war or to curtail your rights, so that you can feel safe again. To scare the citizens, the elites use mainly 2 methods: propaganda and false flag terror attacks against their own population. 9/11 is one of the many examples of terrorist attacks against the own population orchestrated by the elites to terrorize the masses and manipulate their minds. A clear example of propaganda to scare the ignorant masses was that Iraq, a poor country devastated by 1 decade of US bombings, had weapons of mass destruction.
Ballistic missiles, chemical or biological weapons of chemical or biological attack, nuclear holy warriors, nuclear program, nuclear weapons, nuclear weapon, nuclear technology, biological, chemical, or a nuclear weapon. Thanks for coming.
7. Another way to keep the masses subjugated is to make us believe in a fake reality. The history has been twisted. The news are giving us a biased view of the world. The music industry is brainwashing us with stupid messages. The documentaries are lying at us. The elite controls all we see and all we watch. They are cleverly manipulating our worldview to turn us into controllable and ignorant beings. To keep the masses subjugated is indispensable to make them live in an illusory world. Otherwise, they could find out their condition of slaves. The elites need to create a fake reality to give them the illusion they are free. 8. Another tool used to keep the masses in a deep state of ignorance is the censorship. The enlightened people are killed. The free-thinking journalists are silenced. The whistleblowers incarcerated. And the teachers who speak the truth are fired. That's the modern and liberal societies where most of the masses think they live. Through censorship in the media industry and in the educational system, the elites can prevent the masses from waking up and realize that they are living in a prison. We are basically free-range slaves.
Well, I've been a journalist for about 25 years, and I was educated to lie, to betray, and not to tell the truth to the public. But seeing right now, within the last months, how far, how the German and American media tries to bring war to the people in Europe, to bring war to Russia. This is a point of no return, and I'm going to stand up and say it is not right what I have done in the past to manipulate people, to make propaganda against Russia, and it is not right what my colleagues do and have done in the past, because they are bribed to betray the people, not only in Germany, all over Europe.
9. Another tool to control the masses is through keeping the citizens busy since the first day they can start thinking by themselves. A human being with free time poses a threat for the system. Free time would allow individuals to think, to develop passions, to wake up spiritually. That's too dangerous for the current socio-economical order. If the elites want to exploit the masses, they need to kill the individual. They cannot allow you to develop your own personality and think by yourself. To control the population, it's a must to keep the citizens busy and with no free time. Then, they will become robots. They will not know themselves. They will not know who they are or what they like. Have you ever wondered why so many people is lost? Why nobody seems to know what to do with their lives? If you turn the people into zombies, who don't know who they are, who do not have values, then you can easily exploit them. As we have seen, if the masses have become so apathetic towards the misery, the poverty and the destruction around them, it's because there are very powerful individuals and institutions who are using a wide variety of techniques to control what we see, what we learn and what we think, in order to control our minds and create a population of submissive, apathetic creatures, who can be easily exploitable.
The scientific dictatorship understands what makes human beings tick. They understand our psychology. They've studied it, and they're using it against us. But the minute the public awakens to the fact that there is an agenda to manipulate them, and the second the public realizes that they are being conditioned and controlled, the establishment begins to lose that edge they've got over people. So all I ask viewers to do is to think for themselves.
We have become cattle. The earth have become a farm. Now my question is, are you a cattle, or are you a human being? I hope this video has somehow helped the viewer to become a little bit more awake. We are anonymous. We are a legion. We do not forget. Expect us.
Sometimes I pray at night and wonder what's left for me in my future.
Wall Street didn't just gain from globalization. It has been completely reckless of the power, manipulation, struggle. Corporate greed, it's all for you, none for me. Pay your debts, stay in line, planet streams, people die. I'm a man, I'm not your product. We're all owned by the bank to keep stocks up. I'm a victim, you play the predator, but I'm a citizen, and you're the senator. I'm making paper, really paper. My money ain't worth shit, it's all fake, huh? I don't got a face, I only got a voice. I hope you got the time, cause you ain't got a choice. This a banger, we're in danger. We gotta open our eyes, we gotta wake up. This is our time, can't you see the signs? Take a look around, we ain't fucking blind. Back down, we can make a difference if we speak out. How we gonna be if we just back down? Freedom let me speak, cause this is our town. Our town, back down. We can make a difference if we speak out. How we gonna be if we just back down? Freedom let me speak, cause this is our town. Our town. So what's it gonna be? Wanna save your life? Gather in the streets. Human rights, time to occupy. Don't let them beggars slide. Our schools are shutting down over the greedy lies. We're in crisis, but we can fight this. We can occupy the globe, they won't like us. Cause we're tired, and we're fed up so much that we speak up. Believe us, they need us, now we're speaking. Holding up signs, we ain't leaving. Unemployment rise, dreams die, we ain't eating. Governments are purchased, bankers really own them. Kinda like our homes, cause we're all foreclosing. Money getting weaker, gas is getting higher. Kids, I can't feed you, nobody will hire. Now we're under pressure, man, what you gotta say now? Shove that fucking stimulus, we got no way to bail out. Back down, we can make a difference if we speak out. How we gonna be if we just back down? Freedom let me speak, cause this is our town. Our town, back down. We can make a difference if we speak out. How we gonna be if we just back down? Freedom let me speak, cause this is our town. Our town.
Police cleared people from Zuccotti Park here in New York, the birthplace of the Occupy Wall Street.
We finally have some good news about the economy.
What happens next without a symbolic center for the Occupy Wall Street movement?
Everybody act now. We can make a difference if we speak out. How we gonna be if we just back down? Freedom, let me speak, this is our town. This is our town. Now we're stressing. Unemployment line, what's a pension? All in due time, all your lives see the ending. Economy is sickening. All these people bitching, rising up and flipping. Corporate greed is vicious. All these people talking. Bet your ears are burning. Bet you're on an island where your sweet plan is turning. Now we're all affected. Tired of your greed now. Take our fucking planet, hell no. We will speak out. Back down. We can make a difference if we speak out. How we gonna be if we just back down? Freedom let me speak, cause this is our town. Our town. Back down. We can make a difference if we speak out. How we gonna be if we just back down? Freedom let me speak, cause this is our town.
It started when the feds today shut down Mega Upload. A group of hackers named Anonymous.
Who are these people? Someone has broken into the National Bank, the Federal Reserve, breaking into files. Mysterious group Anonymous has struck again with a warning. This is just the beginning.
government sets out to do that, it must use force and coercion to achieve its purpose. Somewhere a perversion is taking place. Our natural, unalienable rights are now considered to be a dispensation of government force and coercion. Freedom has never been so fragile, so close to slipping from our grasp as it is at this moment. Our natural, unalienable rights are now considered to be...
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. That will give you the future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill their promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world.
happiness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. Violence can be used for good. With my hands around your neck. Remember, remember the 5th of November. Vengeance.
That artists use lies to tell the truth while politicians use them to cover the truth up.
You need only look into a mirror. Be afraid of their government. Government should be afraid of their people.
Holy crap, they just fucking shot that guy. Holy crap, they just fucking shot that guy. Holy freaking crap.
Above the courts and laws, they're building a machine the likes of which we've never seen, designed to break our will, track us and keep us still. In the name of freedom, they will justify their every kill. Police state, they got their riot shields, tear gas and black batons. This ain't protected servants, clear to see what side they're on. They think that do the dirty work of someone else. Sit back, collect the check, and disassociate themselves. We're not afraid of you. We will not run and hide. What side you gonna choose? 'Cause we are not afraid to die. We'll rise up. Fight the police.
Dear future generations, That's an anonymous message for you. Be careful. You have been born in a world that it's very hostile, sad, and full of misery and suffering. You live in a world where a network of greedy people and institutions are secretly ruling and exploiting the rest of us. You will be enslaved and mistreated in every possible way. The earth has become a human farm, and a network of elites are exploiting all of us. In this video, dear future generations, I would like to warn you about the dangers of the world you are living in. Although you will be billions of human beings sharing the planet, you will be ruled and exploited only by a few. Nowadays, only a handful of persons accumulate the same wealth that the rest of us. These people have destroyed our world and will control every aspect of your lives. They will steal your wealth, will persuade you to kill each other, will convince you to spend your little money in things you don't need, and will dumb you down to such an extent that you won't realize how you are being looted by a few. That's the world where you have been born, and you, future generations, will become cattle like most of us, unless you listen our advice. First thing we should warn you about, it's about yourself, about your human nature. We, humans, were irrational animals driven by instincts only a few 100,000 years ago. Although in the last stages of our evolution we developed a high intelligence, these instincts still play a strong influence over our behavior. Like animals, we are by nature tribal creatures, prone to not trust outsiders and get into conflict with them. We are territorial, we are possessive, we have strong ego, a huge sexual appetite, and all these instincts will make you prone to fight and compete with other fellow human beings. To prevent your animal nature from taking control of yourself, you will need to meditate. You will need to spend some time a day looking inwardly and becoming aware of yourself. Self-awareness is the only tool that will allow you to transcend your irrational animal nature and become an enlightened being. Dear future generations, unless you become aware of your own existence, chaos, suffering, and destruction will reign your lives. Another thing we should warn you about, it's the educational system. The school, it's a place where you will spend most of your life till you turn 18. The goal of this institution is to dumb you down. During your youth, you will feel curious about the world, you will ask yourself many questions, and you will have an insatiable craving for learning. You will have the potential to become an artist, a wise human being, but that is something the elites don't want you to become, and therefore, they will place you in the indoctrination system, where you will be kept busy, learning irrelevant things, to ensure that by the time you are an adult, you don't have a fucking clue of how the world works. You will be so ignorant that you won't even realize that you are being exploited before your eyes. So dear future generations, you will definitely be idiots if you only have learned what has been taught to you in the schools. Unless you do research by yourselves, you will be ignorant creatures who will destroy themselves. The third thing we should warn you about, it's the media programming. You will see that in the houses there are electronic devices transmitting moving images and all kind of programs. You will soon realize that the people spend most of their times watching at these screens. Be careful. Unless you want to become a cattle, don't do like them. And no, I will tell you why. These devices are used by the elites to achieve basically 3 goals. The first one is to distract you. The TV is a great invention, very useful for the elites, since they can achieve to have all the population distracted, staring at a screen, entertained with a virtual reality, which will ensure that you don't pay attention to the real world. Your distraction gives the elites the chance to exploit you.
But you people sit there day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds. We're all you know. You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. You do whatever the tube tells you. You dress like the tube. You eat like the tube. You raise your children like the tube. You even think like the tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are...
The second goal of the TV is to misinform you. Through movies, news and documentaries, the elites will give you a fake view of the world you live in. They don't want you to understand the reality, and therefore, they will implant in your mind lies and propaganda, in order to turn you into an ignorant, submissive citizen, unable to comprehend the world around him, and unable to become aware of his condition of slave.
So if you want the truth, go to your gurus. Go to yourselves, because that's the only place you're ever going to find any real truth. But man, you're never going to get any truth from us. We'll tell you anything you want to hear, we lie.
Another application of the TV will be to bombard you with images that will implant in your mind values, complexes and aspirations that will turn you into a superficial and stupid human being. Through the TV and the media, you will be programmed like a robot to develop behaviors that benefits the elites. You will be persuaded to spend your wealth in things that you don't need. You will be brainwashed to feel unhappy with yourself, so that you will spend all your life looking yourself on the mirrors, instead of looking the world you live in. You will be implanted needs that will keep you focused in irrelevant things that mean nothing in the scheme of the entire world. Another thing the elites will do is to use propaganda, lies, and false flag terror attacks to try to implant in your mind hatred towards other fellow human beings. The elites have created an unfair economical system that only benefits a few, and to prevent the masses from raising against them, they will try to keep you divided and confronted with each other. Be careful, and be aware of the intentions of the countless messages promoting hatred that will bombard you since the first day you will be born. The strength of the elites lies precisely on your hatred towards your fellow human beings. Finally, you will live in a society that will surround you with countless distractions. The elites will want you to spend your life entertained, distracted, unaware of the important political events that are unfolding around you. They will surround you with amazing video games, with virtual reality, with drugs, with big variety of TV programs, pornography, and distractions of all kind. You will be exploited since the first day you are born. And entertainments, it's one of the tools the elites will use to keep you distracted and apathetic towards the destruction and misery around you.
And why is that? It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do when the people become restive, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor? He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. And he has great chariot races and football games and basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world, so that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is, so they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated, so they don't ever question the emperor.
So dear future generations, as you can see, this world is a conspiracy against you, a conspiracy to prevent you from unleashing your full potential as a human being, a conspiracy to turn you into cattle, into submissive, apathetic, ignorant creatures. So, future generations, if you don't follow our advice, you will surely become ignorant, like most of us, and destruction and suffering will keep plaguing the earth. We have destroyed the planet because we have been victim of this conspiracy, which has prevented most of us to learn the right knowledge and wake up. And you, future generations, will surely follow the same path, unless you pay heed to our advice. So please, become self-aware, and meditate a little bit every day. Stop watching screens, and don't let the elites to turn you into a machine. Learn for yourself, and stop believing the bullshit that the corporate media will tell. Finally, dear future generations, you will need to be compassionate. Don't look at other disoriented human beings with hatred. You need to understand that we are all one. We are all different manifestations of a same being, only ideologies prejudices and fears separates us, and hating each other. It's the most stupid mistake humanity have done since the beginning of times. No, humans of the future, don't do the same mistake. Don't commit the same errors of killing each other like we did. Be united, spread love, since wars and division, as you have seen, have destroyed our world. Dear future generations, I hope you will learn from the mistakes of our past. I am sure you can do better than us. Good luck. We are anonymous, and we are awake. We do not forgive, and we do not forget. So, expect us.